most women suffer a crisis of confidence. So my single message to women entrepreneurs who want to take up this journey is that you are stronger than you believe, you're braver than you think, you can do it. Have the confidence, take the first step, and you will achieve whatever your heart desires.
Hello and welcome to an exclusive interview on ET Edge Insights. Today we have with us Apoorva Purohit. She is the co-founder of Aazol Ventures. Thank you for taking the time out and doing this with ET Edge Insights.
Thank you for inviting.
It's a pleasure to host you. Let me begin by asking you, from decision maker, a leader who has worked in reputed organizations, getting into entrepreneurship and crafting this wonderful story with Aazol. So if you can just talk about the journey.
So as you are aware, I spent around 3 decades in the corporate world.
Right.
And then at a particular time, I started thinking that India has such complex problems that each of us who've got opportunities, post-liberalization, a lot of us got humongous opportunities to grow, to learn, to create business impact,
Right.
to generate wealth for ourselves, have lots of resources at our command. It is time that we start giving back. Only then will we be able to solve the problems of the country.
Right.
So we started Aazol with the purpose of creating rural employment, because I definitely believe that rural unemployment is one of the biggest causes of the disparity and inequality we see in our country today.
Right.
So working with rural women artisans who create the most fabulous products, food products, and bringing them to urban markets. Because on the one hand, our tradition, our heritage, our endemic grains that we grow in our land are so wonderful. On the other hand, urban customers are not able to access our heritage grains, and as a consequence, farmers have stopped growing them, rural artisans have stopped making those grains. So the idea was to connect the urban consumer who's looking for health, for least processed foods, for heritage foods, with the women from rural India.
Right.
And that's really how Aazol started.
When you talk about, women entrepreneurs, that is something 3 decades ago when you started, there were few and far women entrepreneurs. Now that you see, I mean, India, obviously, it's a growing story. In your words, how do you see, I mean, the situation when we talk about women entrepreneurs of today as compared to maybe 3 decades ago?
So women per se in the workforce, while a lot of work has happened, the government has put in a lot of policies. Organizations are working tremendously hard to ensure that there is diversity at work. Unfortunately, the needle has not moved dramatically. So there are still 30% women at the entry level, around 15% at the mid level, and 5% at the top. Similarly, in entrepreneurship, there are very, very few women who are getting, for example, funding. Less than 2% of funding goes to women entrepreneurs.
Right.
So there is a challenge. And I think the challenge is more social rather than women themselves.
Right.
So I see a lot of women. Now, whether you talk of women in the urban milieu, in the context of the urban milieu, or if you talk of women, as I was talking about the women who work at Aazol, who are all these little rural self-help groups who are working hard to create the best chutney and the best papad and the best laddu. All of them face social problems, which is, there is a sense of patriarchy.
Right.
You're not supposed to leave the house to do something. Your income is not the first income, it's the second income. So the male earns to support the family, the woman earns from a selfish motive.
Right.
That is the perception that is still existing in our country. And till we start bringing up our daughters differently, till we start bringing up our sons differently, to say, both the genders are equal. And from kindergarten onwards, if this training is put into all of our children, only then I think true change will happen, and you will see not only more women leaders, but also many, many more women entrepreneurs.
Right. Your advice to young women entrepreneurs who want to take up this journey ahead?
I think most women suffer a crisis of confidence. So my single message to women entrepreneurs who want to take up this journey is that you are stronger than you believe, you're braver than you think, you can do it. Have the confidence, take the first step, and you will achieve whatever your heart desires.
Right. On that note, thank you very much for your wonderful insights. It was a pleasure chatting with you. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.